Hello and welcome back to my Python tutorial series. In this video I'll be covering comparison operators as well as conditional branching in Python. And with that being said, go ahead and head on over to Visual Studio Code. I already have a project directory opened here called tutorial 2, so you don't need to create one and call it whatever you want. I will make my Python file by clicking New File, and I will call it tutorial2.py. And recall from my last video that we have a special data type called a Boolean. Now this Boolean can only hold one of two values, which would be true or false. So if I just made a variable here and called it true bool and set it equal to true, this will be a Boolean variable with a value of true. And remember that whenever you say this has a value of true, it has to be with a capital T. Likewise, you can have a false variable, well, a false Boolean variable. So that's just a Boolean variable with the value false. And just remember, it's a Boolean variable, so it can only have one of these two values, true or false. With that recap on Booleans out of the way, I can now go over the comparison operators. So the very first comparison operator that we have would be the less than symbol, which is a left-angled bracket. We have the greater than symbol, which is a right-angled bracket. We have less than or equal to, which is a left-angled bracket with an equal sign. We have greater than or equal to, which is our right-angled bracket with an equal sign. We have equal to, which is just this double equal sign. And then finally we have not equal to, which is a equal sign with an exclamation mark. Now that means not equal to. A comparison operator requires two arguments to work, one on the left side and one on the right side of the operator. This is the less than operator, so this would read as 5 is less than 10, and will return a Boolean value, so either true or false, based off of the correctness of the statement. So this says 5 is less than 10, which is true, 5 is less than 10, so this will return a value true. So if I run this, we won't actually see anything because I'm not printing it out. So if I want to actually see the value returned by this conditional operator, I would have to wrap it in a print statement. So literally just slap it into the argument of the print statement there. So when I run this again, it will print the value true. So to show the opposite, I will say 5 is greater than 10. And as expected, whenever I run this, we should see the value false. And all the other operators, the less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal to work the exact same. So I'm not actually going to demonstrate them here because it's pretty straightforward, but I do advise you to play around with them and see what you can come up with. The last concept that I would like to cover in this video would be conditional branching. Now a conditional branch is just a chunk of code that only executes if a certain condition has been met. And the way that we write a conditional branch in Python would be using the if keyword. So right now I'm just going to write some pseudocode that will just demonstrate the structure of an if statement, and then afterwards I will write some real code with it. So the way that you write an if statement is you type if, that's the if keyword, condition. This is just some arbitrary condition. As of right now, this doesn't mean anything, but just think of that as some arbitrary condition. Then we have a colon, just because an if statement, along with many other things in Python, require you to put a colon after them. And then now you can see that it is automatically indented for us, and anything that is indented after this if statement will be executed within the conditional block. So I'm just going to write some arbitrary lines. Line 1, line 2, line 3. And so if this condition happens to evaluate to true, that would mean that these 3 lines will be executed. If this condition evaluates to false, then these lines will be skipped. And then anything that is not indented after this condition or this if statement will be executed. So say I put an arbitrary line 4 here. If this condition evaluates to false, these lines will be skipped, but this line will be executed because it is not indented along with these 3 lines. So now I'm going to write some actual code using this. So let me define an arbitrary variable x. So I'm just going to assign it to 5. And then let's write if x is less than, because remember, these comparison operators will evaluate to true or false. So if x, which is 5, is less than 10, let's print x is less than 5. Or sorry, x is less than 10. And then just to show that anything that is not indented afterwards will be printed if it is not indented along with this line here, I'm going to print done. So let's see. So run this code, and we can see that it does print x is less than 10 and then done. Well, let's change this a little bit. Let's say x is greater, I don't know what it did there, sorry about that. X is greater than 10. And let's change this to x is greater than 10. So we know that since x is 5, x is not greater than 10. So therefore we should not see this line printed. But let's see. And there you can see that all we see is the done print statement. We do not see the x is greater than 10 print statement. So what if I change this to 15? Well, then we can see that x is greater than 10. So it does print that. So let's change this back to 5. Change this back to less than 10. Less is less than 10. There we go. There is a different path that you can take. So you could say else, and then let's print x is greater than or equal to 10. There we go. So let's run this again. We should see the exact same output. So yes, x is less than 10. What if I change this to 4? So I need to change this in the print statement. So we see x then is greater than or equal to 4. Because let's analyze this a little bit. So x was 5. And then we say if x is less than 4, we just print x is less than 4. But it's not. So we take this alternate path because it's if this, do this, else, meaning it's not, this is not true. So if this is not true, we go with this path. We can add multiple paths to this if we say, so actually I'm going to get rid of all of this. And let's say x is equal to 10 if x less than 10 x is less than 10, then there is a alternate way where we can add multiple conditions to this. So we can say elif, and this stands for else if, which means if this is not true, we check this path, which will have another condition. So if else if x is greater than 10, we say x is greater than 10. Then we can add an alternate route to this, which is like the default. So if neither of these paths are taken, we always default to this path. You can think of the else block as a default path. So we'd say print x is 10, because if x is not less than 10, if it's not less than 10 and it's not greater than 10, then the only other alternate route would be that x is 10. It's the only thing that would make sense. And just for consistency, I will go ahead and print done. So we can see that x is 10, so we know that this route is the one that should be taken. let's run this. So we say x is 10 and done. Well, what if I change this to 9? See, x is less than 10. And then it prints done. And if I change this to, if I change it to 11, we can see that x is greater than 10 because 11 is greater than 10. Okay, so there is one last thing that I would like to cover before wrapping up this video, and that would be a nested conditional, or an if statement that occurs within another if statement. So I'm actually going to go ahead and write the code first and then explain it more in detail afterwards, just because I feel like it would make more sense if I did it that way rather than trying to explain it while I'm writing the code. Okay, so now that we have this code written here, let's analyze it and try to understand it. So the first thing that I should explain would be this percent sign. Now this percent sign is another mathematical operation that I didn't cover in the last video, but it is referred to as the modulus operator. And what the modulus operator does is it will take the two numbers, divide them, but will, instead of giving you the actual result from the division, it will give you the remainder. So if I take 5 mod 2, that will be 1, because 5 divided by 2 is 2, but with a remainder of 1. So that is what will be given to me by this modulus operator. So with that out of the way, I can go ahead and explain this nested if statement here. So first it checks if x is less than 10. So right off the bat, if like say x is 11, none of these lines of code will be executed because they all exist within this if statement. So if x is 11, all of these will be skipped and all we'll do is print done. If x is less than 10, we will go ahead and jump right into this conditional statement here, or this conditional block, and we'll immediately print x is less than 10. And then immediately following that, that is where this block gets a bit more interesting, is we first check if the result from x mod 2 is equal to 0. And what that statement does is it checks if x is even, because if the result of dividing x by 2 has no remainder, which would mean that this would equal 0, and that would imply that x is even. Otherwise, we print that x is odd. And also note here that both of these branches have their own indentation within this block, because every extra layer of a conditional branch will require additional indentation. So we can see x is 5, so let's run it. Let's run it, maybe. There we go. So we see that x is less than 10 and x is odd, because x was 5, so 5 is an odd number, so we print that x is 5. Well, we print that x is odd, sorry. And that makes sense because 5 mod 2, or should I say 5 divided by 2 is 2 with a remainder of 1. So that means that this will be replaced basically by 1. And then we check if 1 is equal to 0, which it's not. So we skip this block. Let me change that back. So we know that this has a remainder, so we do not take this branch. Instead, we take this else branch and print that x is odd. And then we print done. Alright, and that pretty much wraps it up for this video. If you found it helpful, please leave a like. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And with that, I will leave it to the next video. Thanks.